Hello and welcome to the live stream of the PNC Steel City Open, an APTA Grand Prix event. Brought to you in part by local support from Allegheny Smoke Works, Rob Roy Industries, Bill Few and Associates, Church Brew Works, and APTA national sponsors Viking and U. We are live at the Fox Chapel Racket Club in Pittsburgh on the APTA network presented by eNet Live. I'm Rodney Workman, along with 13-time national champ Jerry Vion, bringing you the women's final. Number 2 seeds, Cynthia Dardis and Amy Shay, versus the number 1 seeds, Liz Cruz, Gabriella Niculescu. Jerry, how do you see the match today?
Well, I'm very excited to have this final. This is the third time these guys have played. 2014. Gabrielle Niculescu and Liz Cruz first played Dardis and Shay in the quarterfinals in Short Hills, and then last weekend at the Patterson Club in the finals. So Niculescu and Cruz are 2-0. Dardis and Shay are looking to beat them for the first time today. So let's just introduce the players. The number 2 seeds, we've got Cynthia Dardis and Amy Shay. So Cynthia is a teaching professional in the Connecticut area, and Amy Shay is the director of platform tennis at the Woodway Country Club. Cynthia is one of the toughest competitors out there. She loves to be at the net as often as she can. She lobs well, she drives well, and the drop shot is her money shot. And Amy, she hits flat, laser-like drives, lobs deep and accurately, volleys well, big reach at the net, and you just can't underestimate the accuracy of her overheads. I mean, she can hit it on a dime. Mm-hmm. And they're tough, you know. I call them Houdini. They get into trouble, and somehow they manage to climb their way out. They're definitely the toughest mentally team out there.
I'm with you on that.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen them dig out. And then the number 1 seeds, Liz Cruz, and she's the director of platform tennis at the Brookline Country Club. Gabriella Niculescu is the teaching professional at Millbrook Country Club. And 2016 national champions, Gabby Niculescu with Martina Andrakova, and Liz Cruz, national champion as well. So they've got their titles as national champions, which Dardis and Shay have won every other tournament except the nationals.
Really?
Yep. So what Gabby does, she's established herself as one of the top female players. She's got a big forehand. She uses her roller overhead to create havoc. We saw that yesterday in the semifinal. I mean, she can hit it deeper in the service box than most players. So it's a very heavy ball. And she's been playing, actually, this tournament, they switch. She's playing on the deuce side. So normally she plays the ad side. But same with Liz Cruz. They can switch back. They're both very competent playing both sides of the court. So it'll be interesting to see what happens today.
So Gabby's switched over to the deuce court.
Yeah. Just for this tournament. Last week in Patterson, she played the ad side. Liz played the deuce side. So they're complementing each other's weapons. So Liz Cruz, she does everything well. She makes very few errors. She understands her role, setting up the play very well. But yesterday, I got to tell you, she stepped in and hit some big forehands. She likes to hit her backhand drive off of the back screen. So if you hit an overhead too hard to her, she lets it go in, and then she sets up her paddle really early, so she holds it and disguises it, and she can lob it down the line. She can drive it cross court. So they're going to be careful on their speed of the overheads.
Mm-hmm. Well, speaking of driving off the screens, with today's temperature climbing, we're going to see an inordinate amount of that probably, which might play right into Liz's hands. I see this as a classic youth versus experience matchup, although youth has been quick studies of the game. But Dardis and Shay, we called their semi-match yesterday, and they are fun to watch. It just goes to show that experience in this game does prevail over over youth most of the time. And they're smart, they're patient, they pick their spots to drive. So we're in for a good match here with the firepower on the other side with the young gals of Cruz and Niculescu.
You see the players warming up. So Cruz and Niculescu are in the red skirts. Thank you for dressing alike. We like that. They'll be easy to pick up. And Dardis and Shay are down the other end. So Cynthia Dardis is in the deuce side. She's got the white visor, pink shirt. Amy Shay's got the red visor.
Cynthia comes in today with high hope, as she has hope printed on her shirt. Maybe this will be her lucky day to break through against them. So as Jerry says, they're 0-2 against Cruz and Niculescu, and today on the west side they're looking directly into the sun, Jerry. No lefties out here, all four right-handers, so they are looking right into the teeth of that sun on their overheads.
And the sun's just coming out. It's actually 57 degrees, as you can see, but this morning when we were driving to the Fox Chapel Racket Club, it was completely fogged in. I mean, we could only see, a few hundred feet in front of us, so now the fog's starting to burn off and the sun's coming out. I want to give a shout out to Scott Kaler, who is the tournament director, and he is the director of rackets here at the Fox Chapel Racket Club, so he's put together a fabulous event, and today he kicks off his play, so we wish him luck. It's no easy task to compete at a high level and also run the tournament.
Indeed. Well, he's got a beautiful club here, and this court we're watching today is tucked right in next to a nice hill/mountain. You don't see this in Chicago, that's for sure. So it's beautiful here.
The players are taking their practice serves. We've got umpire David Johnson in the chair. And the umpire is going to call the scores. He's not going to call any lines unless he's asked by one of the players. And if they do ask him, it's whatever he determines. This is the call.
His call is final.
I think the players do enjoy having an umpire up there because sometimes those points go on and on and on, and you lose track, and that way just takes the pressure off everybody.
For sure. I mean, not only for some tight calls, but to remember the score.
Good morning from the Fox Chapel Racket Club. We have the finals of the Women's Steel City Grand Prix. To my right, Cynthia Dardis from Stamford, Connecticut, and her partner Amy Shay from Wilton, Connecticut. To my left, Liz Cruz from Trumbull, Connecticut, and her partner Gabby Niculescu from Norwalk, Connecticut. Dardis and Shay have won the spin and elected to receive. Oh, they're serving? You chose the side, and you're serving. Okay.
Dave is perched up there in that paddle-specific umpire's chair, and it's a great place to watch it from. I like the fact they're up and off the court. Sometimes they ump inside, and this is a game with angled drop shots. That umpire gets in the game quickly.
And you're going to see with Gabby's roller, especially when it starts to warm up, I mean, she's going to hit that ball hard, and they're going to be chasing it up the screens. You notice that the water bottles and the towels are close to the door. And here we go. Cynthia Dardis serving.
Love 15.
She's serving into the sun.
Fault right off the bat. And this is not country club paddle where you get FBI, first ball in. So she faults on the opening point. Here we go.
Now, I have to tell you, Rodney, I'm very impressed with the patience that Gabby Niculescu, who's on the deuce side, is showing. I mean, she's last year she was ready to go, smacking every ball, and and she's showing a willingness, especially in the beginning of their match, to just get into the point. And I love it. It sends a message to your opponents that I'm not going to give away any free points quickly. You better be prepared to hit a lot of balls.
Well, that's what they're saying here right now in the first point of the match. From a playing standpoint, it is love 15 off the fault. But this
15 all.
And you know that Dardis and Shay have a game plan, and it's revealed itself already. They're going to hit those 3 boards.
15-30.
Closest to Gabby from the center mark. And see how far Liz Cruz will come out and hit her forehand.
Cynthia maybe showing a little signs of the final here with 2 faults in the first 3 points, uncharacteristic for her. She'll settle down though and get in her groove, but that sun may have something to do with it too, Jerry. Soft up the middle, getting a lot of that right now.
Right, well, they're going to play. Dardis and Shay are not going to give away any points. They're going to make
15,
Niculescu and Cruz have to hit, and have to hit into small parts of the court.
Which Gabby just did.
30-40.
Hit a winner up the line. Now it's 30-40. Service return error from Gabby. Look at that good-looking two-hander Liz hits. Wonder why they did switch, Jerry. I mean, that's an interesting tactic, having played the other way successfully.
Yeah, they're both so talented. Niculescu played Fed Cup for Romania. Liz Cruz played for El Salvador.
Agree. Deuce.
Now, what you're going to notice about Dardis and Shay is their speed of play. Not so much during the play, but in between the points. They will not be taken out of their rhythm. Now we've got some equipment adjustments. But everything is, they control everything. They control the speed. You can see right now, no one's going to rush them.
I think they just switched visors.
Yeah, they did.
That's a good
Yeah,
cue.
no, they're not going to play unless they're 100% comfortable. They know what it takes for them to win.
Cruz, Niculescu.
Cynthia knows it doesn't take 3 faults in one game to win.
Yeah, but that's not going to borrow her. I've seen this.
I'm sure. Like
yeah.
I said,
Yeah, no.
opening nerves maybe, and the sun is right in her eyes.
And I think once Cruz, Niculescu get into the point, they're going to want to speed it up.
Deuce.
Wow.
They're going to want to. Yeah,
Did
that
you
was
see
a
that?
good swing, though. I did see that. That's a practice swing. It's all right.
Exactly. Liz did not see that. She swung and whiffed. You don't see that much, but they hit with so much topspin, and there is some shadows and sun on this court, so obviously there's some trickiness out there. And that might rattle
Advantage,
Liz
Dardis
just a little
Shay.
bit. I bet you it's been a while since she's swung and missed.
Deuce.
That's what Liz Cruz does well. She aims high for the armpits, and it's a tough volley.
Advantage, Cruz, Niculescu.
Clears the net by 2 or 3 feet. It's got enough spin that it's going to come in. That's what I expect to see a lot of.
Our first blitz
Game,
of
Cruz,
the
Niculescu.
match.
They lead 1-love in the first set.
Gabby blitzes off Liz's return on the break point, which is a brilliant tactic. Caught him a little off guard. Sloppy first game for Dardis and Shay, which is so unlike them. They played so rock solid yesterday in the 2 matches I watched. So, early morning match, starting the engine. What do you think, Jerry?
Got to get into it, yeah. Well, I'm just so impressed with Niculescu's calmness now. Like that last point that we just saw coming in, hitting hard and blitzing, that's how she normally would start. Boom, 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 boom.
Mm-hmm.
And this year she's showing that let me just get into the point, get into the rhythm, and Gabriela Niculescu serving. Nice rip
Love
by
15.
Cynthia Dardis. She's really picked up her return to serve over the last couple of years.
Beautiful
Added some
return.
offense.
And both of them, again, hit a flatter drive than, look at the great hands from Liz. It's a classic confrontation of old school, new school. Flat forehands, a little bit of top from the
Love
elder
30.
team, young team, a lot of heavy roll. Grips are more semi-western, and it's fun to watch these styles.
$15.30.
Liz got out of the way brilliantly there. That's a big part of the game, is ducking or dodging the point-blank hard drives. Beautiful. Up the middle solves the paddle riddle.
That's Amy Shay's overhead. She lets that ball drop and she slices down the back of the ball so it skips and stays low.
I coined that shot years ago, a side head, because I noticed when I first started playing paddle, they didn't hit overhead as much. They let it drop,
That's true.
and they get the lower trajectory.
There's the roller.
Speaking of lower trajectories, that roller stays down a little more too than a true overhead. Great lob here. Wow.
15.40.
Again, that laser-like backhand set up by a deep high lob, and Amy jumped all over that thing for a clean winner, which you don't see of too many in this game,
15-40.
unlike tennis. You see boatloads in tennis. And that's why the older group can hang with the younger group here, because you have these screens. The points go on indefinitely. If you hit it harder, they'll just let it go off like that. Start it up again. Look at that great drive and footwork from Liz. And the hands of God up at the net from
Game,
Cynthia.
Dardis, Shay. The first set is tied 1-all.
Two service breaks, Jerry, right off the bat.
Yeah, I mean, I'll give them the first 4 games to settle in, and then we'll get into the real tactics. I mean, you expect the foot speed of Cruz Niculescu to be the advantage along with the power, but you've got the intelligent and tenacious play of Dardis and Shay. So they're just going to try to negate the strength and control what they can control. But really, I think it's Cruz Niculescu's match to lose.
Well, with the 2-0 record on them, I agree. And you wonder what Dardis and Shay are going to try to do this time that they haven't in the other two. A lot of soft up the middle overheads.
Well, that's where they've got to go, because Gabby's Niculescu's forehand on the deuce side is just a huge weapon, so they've got to be careful if they go over there. And Liz Cruz's backhand on the outside is her strength, so they've got to be
15.
careful over there. So they're going to put it down the middle. They're going to try to pull one of the players out, and if they get a short lob, they're going to go for the neck behind them. So that's their play, and it's also a very high percentage play, because you can miss by 6 feet either way, and you're good.
Gabby's got some tremendous footwork to step around a lot of those balls and
30.
get that forehand off. Anyone who's played Federation Cups got some great feet for sure, and it's just good to see these former great tennis players starting to jump into our game. Need more of them. There's the nick, and again, Gabby's right there to cover the squirter that comes out the side.
There's that Liz Cruz's backhand. Now, normally Dardis and Shay switch at the net. They normally have Amy Shay on the left hitting all the overhead, so this is a little interesting here. They set Dardis up for the drop shot.
Mm-hmm.
But she's staying on the left.
Interesting.
Yeah. See, that's a great angle of Amy Shay's overhead where she really lets that ball drop and
15-30.
slides underneath the back of it. Lets that wrist go.
That hard cutter right at Gabby is a tough one to handle, and she came up short there. 15-30.
I agree.
Just long. 15-40, both
15-40.
Dardis and Shay struggling with their serves early. And again, unlike tennis where you get the second one, this is one and done. Liz does like that two-hander, Jerry.
Oh,
Here
yeah.
comes. Great deep volley from Cynthia.
Cynthia's Dardis' overhead is flat. You can hear it. You can hear as her paddle hits the back of the ball. Whereas Amy Shay's got much more bite on it.
30-40.
There's the classic nick. You take dead aim at it, and hopefully it squirts up the side and not back to the middle, because that's the tougher one to cover. Break point. 1-all in the first set. Amy Shay serving. Leg cord. There's that hard cut overhead, and once again,
That's the overhead. That's where she really hurt you. Amy
great-
Shay. Yeah, she just lets the ball drop and drop and drop, and then slides it, keeps it deep in the court and low in the screen.
phenomenal return
Advantage,
from Gabby.
Cruz, Niculescu.
Catching the ball early out in front on the rise, giving the big surprise back to Amy. Tough to handle when you catch it that early. It's a good lob. There's that footwork again. First
Deuce.
forehand I think she's netted today. She'd like to have that one back, but like Jerry says, early in the match here, just trying to feel each other out, trying
Yeah.
to get a game plan that's going to get them to the finish line.
You can see
Advantage, Cruz,
Niculescu just lines up that spot on the net between Dardis and Shay. That's the last two drives. She's picked that spot.
Great dig from Niculescu out of that forehand corner. Here's that hard cutter, trying to go for the nick. They lob very well for the younger crowd.
Well, yeah, Niculescu has learned to embrace the lob. She wasn't always that way, but she understands now that the lob is an offensive shot that sets up your
Deuce.
drive. You know, as we've seen
Yeah.
over and over, when the good tennis players come into the game, they're looking to win points and hit winners and drive, and as they get deeper into the draw, that doesn't work.
That's well said, Jerry. Embrace the lob, because those who start trying to perfect their lobs, they start winning a lot more. Because that defense sets up the offense.
Advantage, Cruz,
Well,
Niculescu.
there, Dardis tries the side head, let it drop, but that's the downside of that shot. You let it drop, you mess with the net a little more. Your lower margin over the net sometimes costs you. Good deception on that from Liz. I like that choice. She wound up like she was going to pull the trigger. And keeps that net team honest. A perfect shot. I love that cutter up the middle like that. It bites on the screen, keeping it low. Good lob. Getting Shay behind the service line on the overhead. There's the shorter lob. She'll hurt you with that. Great lob there.
I have never seen Dardis and Shay make that move.
Which is?
The duck and weave, putting Cynthia Dardis on the left. They are always looking to put Cynthia
Cruz,
on the right.
Niculescu. They lead the first set, 2-1.
Interesting. Pay attention to that, Rodney. We just saw a new move.
Well, not only do you have that, you have the other team playing out of their corner, so they're all trying something a little new. What do you think of that, Jerry?
What? Liz Cruz plays both sides, so she's not just been the deuce court player and then has now played the ad. She's played with different partners on both sides, so they're comfortable. It's more Gabby Niculescu playing the deuce side that's a little different.
Well, you take her forehand out of it a little more. You know, you right-handed into the deuce court, you don't get as many looks. Generally speaking, the better forehand, if there's two right-handers, plays the ad. They can patrol the middle. So it's interesting. Like you say, Dardis and Shay doing something out of the norm. Same with Niculescu and Cruz. 2-1, Niculescu and Cruz, first set.
It doesn't look like Cynthia was ready.
Well, it just goes to show the lighting out there. She went to serve. She didn't even know that Dardis was cleaning her glasses. But shadows and bright light
Love all.
makes it a little bit trickier.
Love 15.
That's a great return of serve by Cynthia Dardis. Ripped it right at Gabby's left hip.
I'd be real content with Niculescu and Cruz to lob on that side because they're looking into the sun, Dardis and Shay. And you can get some loose errors. Eventually they just get blinded. Tough. Great pickup from Shay, a half volley. You don't see that shot that often in this game. She has real soft hands. Look at that shot.
15 all.
It's a drive off the screen from Niculescu to the right hip of Dardis.
Okay, so here we're seeing a change of tactic. Liz Cruz serving and Niculescu staying back with her.
30-15.
And that's because that Cynthia, was hitting a return big and they couldn't get into the point. So they're finding another way.
And it worked. What a pickup from Liz Cruz. There's that footwork again. You try to dump into that reset button on the deuce court player. She's quick enough to run around it. Gabby is. There it does it again. She's getting a lot of forehands over there, Jerry.
Well, she's making it happen now. You can see that she's relaxed into it. She showed her patience and her willingness to, build the point. And then she's going to hit high percentage shots. I mean, that's where the growth of her game has been this year. She's just not trying to win the points outright. Dardis and Shay, that overhead is so well placed.
Tough ball to drive as she's off balance on the move, kind of
30 all.
in on her hands. She'd like to have that one back.
Okay, again, Gabriela Niculescu is staying to the right because she's the deuce court player, and then Liz Cruz just serves and slides over.
And they're 2 for 2 in that
40-30.
tactic. Thought they might try it with Shay, but no, they're going Australian, giving signals. Left hand knows what the right hand's doing. There it is. Love that cutter. She hits that about as well as anyone in the women's game.
Yeah. Yeah, she does.
And you got Dardis, who's got one of the best drop shots. So those two ham and egg things perfectly. Love the way they play together, Jerry.
Yeah, they've really worked on their perfecting their strengths and disguising their weaknesses.
And they just play so well as a team. They're fun to watch. You know, they're probably the oldest top team in here. Great drive.
Now that's the problem with Liz Cruz getting off the court and pulling Gabby around behind her, exposed that part of the court where Amy Shay could hit into. And Liz Cruz has got to stay still and take that overhead. Otherwise, Amy Shay's just going to pick them apart there.
Cynthia put a little more giddy up on that return this time with the both back formation, which they've lost both times. Bomb forehand from Cruz. For those out there watching, beginner intermediates, you know, just because you give the net up and run back to the back, don't panic. You saw Dardis and Shay just lob it, but Amy overhits a forehand. Add Cruz. Trying to become the first player to hold serve in this final in Pittsburgh. Good nick, but there again is Liz Cruz for the middle squirt.
Really, I am just not used to seeing this many lobs out of Gabby's corner. They're just so consistent.
Do you think it has anything to do with her in the forehand for the first time?
No, I think it's just a maturity of her game. She understands all the pieces now.
Best offense is a good defense.
And yes, I mean, she's not going to drive also those deep balls to her backhand.
Game, Cruz, Niculescu. They lead the first set, 3-1.
Well, she tried that little push overhead, overcooked it. First hold of the match for Niculescu and Cruz. Let's see if Cynthia can serve better this game. Their first game, she had 4 faults, dug a little hole, and it's amazing though in this game you can have a lot of faults and still win the game.
Yeah.
But they didn't that early first game, so here we go, down 1-3. I love the way Shay takes that two-handed backhand volley and pushes with her left hand. She stuffs that left hand through too, so she gets more pace on it than I think the players are anticipating.
That's a great angle of Amy's preparation. Watch her right elbow. Right? It doesn't go any higher than her shoulder. So she's not reaching up and snapping like a tennis overhead. Trouble. Yeah, that was trouble from the lob that Liz Cruz sent high over Cynthia Dardis. Amy had to come all the way around, and you run out of options where to hit that overhead. You don't necessarily get punished on that shot, but it was 3 hits later that they got the result.
Great point. Liz sniffs those forehands out really well over there. Great volleys. Dardis and Shay to handle the barrage of drives. Great volley there. Up. Dardis commits to that backhand volley, squares the face up, absorbs the power of the big forehand from Cruz.
Yeah, I agree. I have it clearly green. 15 all.
Great point.
There's this speed of play that I was talking to you about. Dardis and Shay are not going to be rushed. They're just going to focus on the task at hand.
I'd like to see Dardis start hitting a few more overheads out wide into Liz's corner, because she's cheating a lot, coming over and picking those forehands off in the middle, but it's a double-edged sword for her.
Right, because then they'd be playing into Cruz's strength.
Short lobs, Cynthia could do a little more with that overhead too, hitting it hard off the middle. Great volley from Dardis.
This is Dardis and Shay's willingness to execute a plan and stay with the
30
plan.
all.
I mean, they are just like a dripping tap.
Well said.
They're torturing you to take a swing, to change it, change the pace, do something. You know, and that's, you know, when you risk making an error. Playing Australian.
There's that little two-hander she stuffs with that left hand.
40, 30.
Yeah, you either have to get all the way in if you're going to blitz against Dardis and Shay. You've got to be on the neck, because especially Cynthia.
Most two-handers roll that thing, but Shay stuffs it. Great recovery off that leg cord. Ouch.
Deuce.
All right, they got to stay positive and focused here. Which they will do. Cynthia's got command back on her serve. That's good news. Great volley. They seem to be trying to play Gabby's backhand screen a lot up that middle.
Yep. Advantage.
David
Dardis,
Johnson's
Shay.
got that bird's eye view of all the lines.
Both falling.
Great volley off a tremendous return from Cruz. Trying to work that backhand screenshot of Gabby. That's where Liz starts sneaking over a little bit, looking to pull the trigger. Little cut drive off the screen. That's the shot I think we got to do a few more of just to keep her honest.
I agree.
Dave Johnson once again having
Deuce.
to get in the game. Quick and decisive. Gotta like that. Great return, Gabby. Switch in the backcourt. Good nick overhead
Advantage,
from Liz
Cruz,
Cruz.
Niculescu.
Break point.
Deuce.
Back to deuce. Getting into a marathon game here. You tend to have more of these long games in platform tennis than tennis. I'm not 100% sure why, but
Advantage, Dardis, Shay.
hold point for Dardis. They need this. This is their fourth deuce and a hold.
Game, Dardis, Shay. Cruz, Niculescu lead 3-2 in the first set.
So we've got some quarterfinal reprieve going on. The women's back draw, Jaffe Molleveld won the first set over Cruz Redesno. And the reprieve final, Delmonico All right, plays back. Gabriella Niculescu to serve.
Great rib from Dardis, and Cruz showing her soft hands. That's the other thing about volleying in the warm weather is you have to absorb the ball more because it'll bounce off that paddle and go long. Cruz has got a nice topspin forehand, gets under the ball, rolls it. What a shot
15, love.
from Gabby. She did one of the hardest things in paddle when you're running full speed on a short ball and not overhit it. And Dardis thought she was going to overhit it long, let it go, and it was in by about a foot.
Just to finish that, Delmonico Gastani won the first set over Kui Line and Sakura. We'll give you updates on those two matches. So this is Dardis and Shay's speed of play. They are dictating, controlling right now.
Cruz and Niculescu have switched in the backcourt. Good lob there.
Cruz and Niculescu are showing Dardis and Shay that they can hang in the long points. And they're showing a willingness to wait. But they've got to be careful that they don't get lulled in and lose the spark and their offense. They've got to start moving and setting up their strengths.
30, love.
You've got to keep that spark going. It's that fine balance of being conservative, consistent, but taking your offensive opportunities.
Uncharacteristic missed overhead by Dardis. Look at the spin off that back screen from Shay, and Gabby having to make an adjustment. Great rip.
30-15.
Gabby serves and stays back that time. So for those out there watching, you can see they've had both back, one stay back, serve and volley, mixing it
30
up,
all.
keeping everything honest. Just looking for a way to win points. Now they're both back again. Out of respect to the big bomb return. That's a good shot by Shay, trying to get into that corner on the short overhead. Nice defense from Niculescu.
That's a rip. That's the spark
40,
that I'm talking
30.
about. Niculescu and Cruz have to keep looking for their opportunities and take it when it's there.
And why do you lob? So ultimately you can drive, and that was a great case of that. They waited him out for the perfect ball to tee up, and she put it right on our shoe tops, Liz Cruz did. Just trying to get a good pitch to hit here. That's a little short, so got to get this one deeper. There it is, and here's their drive. Boom. Good dig. Good drive from Gabby. I love that choice. Ball comes off the back screen hot. You got to pull the trigger.
Dardis just hits that overhead just past the service line where you're tempted to step in, but you're a little too far back. And then they close
Shay,
and volley behind
Cruz,
you. So
Niculescu.
Niculescu and Cruz are doing a good job
They
of
lead
not
the score
falling for that
4-2.
play.
Well, they're being patient and resulting in another missed overhead by Dardis on big point. Two, 4. Serving, first set, finals. The PNC Steel City Open here in Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania at the beautiful Fox Chapel Racket Club. Head pro Scott Cale, tournament director and player in the event. Great club here, beautiful scenery. This would be one of the prettier paddle courts you'll ever see. The camera angle doesn't quite show the mountain on the umpire's chair side. It's just gorgeous up there. Great overhead, back screen, side
15,
screen,
love.
got it to glue up to the side screen. 15 love.
$15 all. Great first volley off a laser beam return from Gabby.
Just not used to seeing Cynthia Dardis staying on the left.
Wonder why that is.
I'm going to find out.
Yes, you will.
They've always made the switch and had Amy hitting all the overheads and Cynthia looking for the drop.
That was good. That was good. Oh yeah, all blue. 15-30.
Dardis made the good move by ducking, but hesitated. She should have taken off right away. The temperatures being this warm, you can pretty much run most of these shots down and use the screen. But you can't hesitate. You got to just go.
Lead court serves are in play out there, gang. For those who are tuning in for the first time, you're probably wondering what happened there, but it counts.
This is vintage Dardis and Shay executing their plan, waiting for the right short ball to slash into the corner, try to get a nick.
Oh. Amy Shay's a surgeon out there with those overheads. They're back
She
to the
is.
formation that you like.
No, I'm not saying I like. It's just that that's how I see them play all the time. I like that they've changed it up. I like that they're making adjustments in their game. I mean, they are the veterans out there and willing to work on the game. It's very impressive that they're going to make a change at this point.
15-40.
15-40. So I like it better with her in the captain's role in those overheads because she hits that aggressive cut overhead, and you got her doing what she does best, and then Dardis up the net ready to drop shot, doing what she does best. So I like that.
Game, Cruz, Niculescu. They lead the first set, 5-2.
Well, 5-2, Cruz, Niculescu. First set, the finals, the PNC Steel City Open. Save-A-Tree is proud to be an official sponsor of APTA. Let Save-A-Tree focus on your landscape so you can focus on your game and enjoy every outdoor moment. Save-A-Tree arborists provide professional tree, shrub, and lawn care services throughout the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, Chicagoland, and Twin City regions. Visit saveatree.com today to schedule your complimentary landscape assessment.
All right, back to live play. Liz Cruz serving. They're staying back. Gabby Niculescu staying to the right of her because she's the deuce court player, so it's an easy transition. So all four players understand that they always have a correct place to be based on the play. So because Niculescu stayed back with Liz Cruz, Cynthia's changed her return to serve and didn't hit the bullet. She just put it over the net, gave herself, unlike that volley, gave herself enough time to get into net, and it's just a transition.
But
So you have your ability to have to read and react to what's happening while it's happening and not figure out in the car on the way home. And a lot of the players, have good racket skills. That's the final piece of the game. Is like knowing what adjustments to make during the match.
There it is.
15
Best
all.
drop shot in women's paddle, they say. She got her first chance to use it, hit a perfect one, Jerry. That's why I like Amy hitting those overheads, because Cynthia then can stay tighter to the net. Look for short, low ones coming out on the lobs. Good eye. Shoulder high. Let her
15,
fly
30.
out there. Tennis, that ball's in all day, and paddle, she's a goner. See Gabby's giving hand signals. Like a pitcher and a catcher in baseball. Great lob again. What hands that Dardis has. She does that so often. Looks like you've got her in trouble, and she pulls a rabbit out of the hat with some tremendous soft hands lob. She knows the court, every square inch of it. Good dig. Look at that. Almost a drop shot winner off the bounce. You don't see that every day.
That was a beautiful drive by Amy Shay down the line there.
I think we're going to want to replay on this point, Jerry. Each team's been up and back to the net at least once, so makes for a great point. There's that same lob. I love that lob from the deuce court player.
All green.
Over the deuce court player's head at the net.
That clipped.
Gabby's Niculescu is questioning the lob long, and then Amy's drive down the line wide. And David Johnson just confirms it, which then just settles the whole thing. Just no, put that out of your mind. It's all
Boom.
good, and on we go.
Yeah, if you don't have a lines judge, there's a chance that could linger for 25
Yeah,
minutes.
you don't want to have that question in your mind.
Nope.
Dardis and Shay have done a good job of shutting down Gabby's roller. And they do that because they're lobbed so well and consistently. So when she's hitting the roller, she's hitting it from outside the service box, which then doesn't have the penetration that a shorter lob would give. I mean, Gabby can win
30,
points
40.
outright with her roller inside the service box.
She hits it so well, the way she brushes right up, straight over the back of the ball. Great drive through the middle. Again, no panic from Liz and Gabby. They just routinely go back and start the ball up with a lob.
You see Gabby just, Niculescu used to throw up a high lob, and then it was an easy switch.
Look, I love the way that Gabby's starting to try to get that lob over Dardis' head. There it is again. It causes confusion. Bang. Great dig. It's right on the line from Liz. A little close for comfort, but it's a great point.
Deuce.
This Cruz calling the switch at net there, putting Gabby on the left to set up Gabby's ability to hit more rollers. So both teams, you see the tactical adjustments are happening during the match.
I like Dardis' return.
Cruz,
Instead of just
Niculescu.
slow rolling softly, this is her fourth time she soft hits it, and then Gabby tees up her shot, and she compromises Dardis. So she needs to put a little more stick on that return. Even though Gabby's staying back.
Deuce.
All right, big game here. Dardis and Shay need to get on the board and show they can win games.
Oof. That hurts.
Advantage. Dardis, Shay.
It's a gift for Dardis and Shay at this point in the match. This is when they start digging in.
And they need this point right here.
Of course, they're going to get a let cord.
Gage.
And
Dardis,
Nick.
Shay.
Could be a
Yep.
good
Cruz,
sign for
Niculescu
them.
Lead the first set, 5-3.
If I had a penny for every time I've seen this.
Well, no lead is big enough in this game. It's the ultimate racket sport of comebacks. I never see the tennis comebacks as severe as I do in this game.
Well, look at Dardis and Shay again,
Huddling up.
controlling the speed of play between the points, not playing until they're absolutely ready and clear. This is a big game. 3 serving 5, first set.
You gotta love that they were there for 60 seconds making, like you say, ironclad clear on what this game plan is and what we have to do to crack the code. And that's what makes this game so much fun, is the strategy is at another level than tennis, because you can't just power your way through.
Right. So Gabby is finding Dardis' left shoulder, and Dardis has moved over further to the right. And that means Amy Shay's got to take a lot more of those overheads.
Well, I like that tactic for them too, and you can see that the answer from Gabby is just keep nudging that lob more over to Dardis' side and creating confusion. And Dardis is just laying up there for a drop shot opportunity, or one of those nice waterfalls that she. Shay is the captain of the overheads, as I like to call it in this drill. She played 80-90% of them because she's on the ad side. They're both right-handed. Look how far she comes over.
I think Liz Cruz should keep picking that spot. Yep, then she'll hit that little push forehand over there.
Great volley from. Wow. Precision forehands.
15.
All came from Liz Cruz's lob down the line. That was 4 or 5 hits ago. That's what's called building the point, moving the chess pieces around, and then getting the reaching volley. The court is so small. You're looking for 2 or 3 boards. Get your opponents to reach. That's
Love
where the
30.
error is.
Love 30. Digging a little hole here. Great rip. And the good use of the backhand volley from Dardis.
Agree.
Gabby Niculescu made that look easy,
Sure
but she
did.
stayed with the ball between her and the net.
Yeah, she got spun around there, a little discombobulated, and she's still able to get the drive off. It's great athleticism there. Set points.
15, 40.
2 of them. What a volley.
30, 40.
What a volley. And forcing Gabby to make a decision before it hits the side screen or after. She tried to get it before and possibly should have stepped back and played the kiss off the side. Game in first set.
All right.
Niculescu and Cruz.
Set.
We'll be right back in just a moment
Cruz,
after these
Niculescu win the
messages
first
right
set,
here
6
on the
games to 3.
APTA network presented by eNet Live.
You have to have a passion for taking care of the customer, and you have to do your job as if your last name was Uline.
For my business, everything's go, 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 and the customer service alone is one of the most valuable things for us. We can call and the phone's picked up immediately. We never have to wait in a queue.
The phones don't ring at least half the time because they go directly into the headsets of our customer service representatives because they know we're waiting for it, and it can be a very fast transaction for them.
Order placed by 6 o'clock p.m., order ships out, customer gets that product more often than not in one business day.
Not only are those orders going out the door quickly, but accurately.
We live and breathe reliability.
But we really do care if a product's returned. We do care if it's not working right. We try to do it better every day.
Every single person looks at customer comments. I mean, that's where we learn Come to Uline because service has always been much, much better here. Always feel like you're treated like you're appreciated, you know.
We do it well. We do it real well.
Once a customer gets used to that, why would you want to leave? We treat you well.
Welcome back to the PNC Steel City Open. We're in the finals. The match between Cynthia Dardis and Amy Shay, the
Love
number
ball.
2 seeds,
Second
against
set,
Liz
Cruz,
Cruz and
Niculescu
Gabriella
to serve.
Niculescu, the number 1 seeds. Cruz and Niculescu just won the first set, 6-3. So they're warming up the new ball here, getting ready to start set number 2. The temperature is climbing. As Jerry said earlier, she showed up today, it was fog.
Yeah.
Couldn't see a thing, and now it is bright and sunny. We're heading right for 75 to 80 degrees today. Summer paddle here in the fall in Pittsburgh. Here we go, set number 2.
Gabriella Niculescu serving, and Liz Cruz is staying back.
She put a little more pepper on that return, and that's what she needs to do against Gabby. Otherwise, she's going to tee it right back at her. I do believe that Dardis and Shay know they can win this match still after that 6-3. They were down 5-2, got it to 5-3 in a long game. I think it gave them belief with a certain game plan. They can compete, maybe steal this thing away from the young tandem. One of the favorite things I've learned from all the other pros I've met in my 38-year teaching career, Jerry, is you learn from other pros. And my friend Ray Murphy in Chicago, he said once that the first set's only 20% of the match. You know, you got 2 to go. Don't panic, especially in this game. You're going to pitch a tent, come back, and win in 3. Natural thing to do after you win a first set is let up, and if you lost it as a competitive team, you pick it up a notch. So that's why so many matches go 3 sets. What a perfect overhead.
Love, 40.
Good coverage. Amy coming over to help her partner. Got in a little trench warfare up at net. Now there's the kind of lobs you want to hit on a day like today or any day. High, a little bit of top on it. Nice and deep.
All
and
green,
again,
yep.
forcing in overhead error.
Game. Dardis, Shay. They lead the second set. 1 love. First set.
There's
Cruz,
some
Niculescu,
good
6-3.
partnership work there. Amy Shay's going over Cynthia and just giving her a little pep talk. So listen, Rodney, very exciting. We have some special guests joining us here.
Nice.
In the booth, we have the national champions, Floor Harnish and Annika van Sterenberg, who are the number 3 seeds in this tournament. Welcome, guys.
Thank you.
Hi. So you had a nice semi-final match yesterday.
Yes, we did.
Liz Cruz and Niculescu.
Yes.
So it was 3-2 was a score, but from watching the match, it felt more a lot closer than that.
Definitely, a lot of close games. You just got to be very patient, especially the way they're playing right now with Gabby on the deuce and Liz on the ad. They're being so patient with the middle, and I think their corners are their strengths right now. So you just got to keep going for the middle all day long until you have the right shot. And we just needed to hit one more ball, and I think
Love, 15.
they hit it one more ball instead.
No, I think I absolutely agree. I'm still absorbing that Gabby Niculescu is on the deuce side, and she's willing to hit lob and lob and lob and wait for that right ball. I mean, we're so used to her just coming and trying to tee off and win the point outright. So.
Totally. I think it's quite amazing how the same team, they can give you such a different look. With this, that way they are right now, it could be a 3-hour match. And if they change now positions, it could be a 1 hour. And I'm not saying they'll win 1 hour. Amy and Cynthia could win. It's just so much faster when it's the other way around. So it's nice that they can give such a different look.
Do you all prefer the fast paddle or the slow paddle game?
Annika, let you answer.
What are we supposed to prefer, or what are we? No.
It's not a trick question. They're looking at me like, oh my God, what should we say?
No, it's quite fun to have, fast pace. We come from tennis, and so we love, volleys here and there, and it can be fun. But in the end, to slow it down and, play at a pace that you can really control your shots a little more, and not just react to what people are giving you. That's a much better way to play, and much calmer and I think more effective way to play.
I particularly prefer, if I'm playing against them with Gabby on the deuce like they are right now, it feels like you have a safe spot when in trouble. When Gabby's on the ad and Liz on the deuce, when I'm in trouble, I'm not sure where to go. You have to hit a very good reset shot, nice and deep. And Liz might still drive that backhand. But right now I feel like you have the safe spot, so I rather playing against them on this position. But it doesn't mean that it's easier, because they will lob and they will lob smart, but at least you're not seeing a drive 100 miles an hour coming right at you.
So they're showing you that they can win with playing different styles.
Totally.
Which is a little alarming.
It is.
So you got to work on all your skill sets now.
Totally.
They say, you know what? They've learned a lot from Dardis and Shay. And they've embraced the lob, and they've embraced moving the ball around, but they can also hit you off the court.
Yes, 100%. It's like Jerry always says, there's not such a thing as a defense lob. They are lobbing smart, so it's offense lobs coming or offense drives coming. So either way, it's not going to be easy.
So Annika, what do you think that Cruz and Niculescu do well? Like, what's their strength?
I think they have so many different weapons that they're able to use at different times, and like we said, they're able to adapt and switch sides.
Advantage,
and,
Cruz, Niculescu.
Really decide, how they want to play. And Gabby was able to say, okay, I'm going to be a little more patient now and not go for some crazy, shots that she'll make or miss. And she's so athletic, she can make a lot. But I think the fact that she was able to recognize that and say, no, I can play a more patient game, play a different side. That's a huge strength. And they've just started together as a team, so seeing how they work well together as a team will be interesting.
Game, Cruz, Niculescu.
We've had such success in the past.
First set is tied 1-1.
That
Second set is tied 1-1.
How to do it? So I think that's another huge strength they have. But Cynthia and Amy have such experience. They've played together so long. They know each other's game so well. They know who's taking every single ball, and they have so much accuracy with their shots that it's not easy. That's why all the points are very good points. It's not even the score. You don't know by the score, but they're all great points.
Yeah, I was just going to say, what makes Dardis and Shay so tough? I mean, they've been in the game, they've been in so many finals.
I have it in.
I think
I have it in.
First, they drive off the screen extremely well. Probably
I had it right on the white.
Better than
right on the white.
Most teams. And they pick very wisely where they're going to drive. Like Amy has this awesome drive that always goes into your right hip or right armpit. And so it's not just a hard drive coming at you, but very well placed. And they have great overheads also. I don't know, they are a great team overall, all the areas.
How about their ability to play as one? I mean, you never see them disagree or
Totally.
their body language.
But how
doesn't
many years
change.
have they been playing together? 14 years? I'm hoping we're going to get there also. In 14 years, we'll know who'll be hitting which balls. Yes, totally. They always know who's hitting. They are very solid on that part. But that's why also Gabby and Liz are doing so great, because what is the second tournament only playing together? And it seems like they're on the same page also, who's hitting what balls. They're not very getting confused, anything like that.
We start to see Niculescu pick up the pace now, and she's like, all right, enough of this, I want to hit.
Nice spin.
Love that overhead.
30, 40.
Yeah, as soon as they get a chance to come into the net, Gabby and Liz, and then they start really hitting the balls, they can do that too. They'll be patient on the baseline, but once they get the opportunity to come in, then they're happy to start.
That was a
really
little
hitting the
drive-by there by Gabby Niculescu. It's a flash of the red skirt. Now, see, you can see now Gabby is starting to get a little antsy. She wants to hit, and she jumped out there and
2-1
and took Liz's ball. But she's like, all right, let me get going. You can start. You can feel it.
Yeah, I had that ball right on the tape in the corner.
I'm a little curious because most of the points, especially in the first set, there were like 20, 30 balls rallies. And it's Amy and Cynthia hitting in the middle, overheads, and Gabby and Liz lobbing. And it's just about who's going to break it down first. I'm not sure what the answer is. I don't really know.
Well, as I see it, Dardis and Shay, they just make you, when you take the shot, they make you hit into the lowest percentage part of the court, and they're giving no angle. So the ball's down the middle and it's deep. So Liz Cruz is being forced to come out and take her forehand from the middle of the court. That's not her favorite shot. And if she doesn't hit it well, her corner is open for them to volley behind. So
Are you two planning on playing on all the tournaments in the Grand Prix this season?
Yes, that's the plan.
Nice.
Hopefully we can make it.
Awesome.
No,
So
it's
we'll
always great tournaments and it's so exciting. We definitely want to play as much as we can.
Super. We'll see you in Chicago then
15.
shortly.
Sounds good. I'll see you then.
Thank you. See you there.
all right, guys, thanks for joining us. That's our national champions, Floor Harnish and Annika van Starenburg, giving us a play-by-play. Well done.
Okay, we're back. 15 love, Cruz Niculescu. Down 2-1 to Dardis and Shay in the second set.
It's fun to hear the players' perspective, isn't it?
Oh, it really is. What a nice team they are, and they're going to have a good season, I'm sure.
They had a fun match with Bodman Hayward yesterday.
15 all.
3-setter, tie break, 6-7, 6-2, 6-love. But talk about big babe fast paddle. It was like,
Yeah,
all
Holly.
four players were smiling through the whole thing, and I mean, it was just really a fun match, great spirit.
$30, 15.
Okay, we're 30-15, 2-1, second set. Dardis and Shay up here. They lost the first set 6-3. They seem to have found a groove here. I think more importantly, they've got the belief that they can grind this thing out. What a drive and great shoot top volley from Shay. You know, it's interesting, Jerry, the way they play here. There's less fighting, I think, in the middle, probably. When you put Gabrielle over in the ad side, her strength is the forehand, and Liz loves that backhand, so they there might be a little bit of who's going to take what there, but I love the fact that I think it was Floor who said it's either a 1 hour match or a 3 hour match, you know, depending on who's playing what side. And that's interesting because these points are longer, it seems like, with Gabby and the deuce with that bailout spot.
It's just a question of how patient is she going to stay, because she really wants to start. You can feel it. You can see she really wants to start swinging, and Dardis and Shay are not going to give her the ball that she wants.
Have you ever seen her play the forehand side prior to this in a tournament, Jerry?
In the beginning, and when she first started playing, yes, but you know, not the year she won the championship with
40,
Martina
30.
Andrakova. She was always on the ad side.
I remember that. I mean, we talked earlier about two right-handers playing together. The ad court player gets more forehands to hit. It's not even a question. So
see, Niculescu just stayed with that nick. The ball ran up the side, and she went up there with it.
And I love the drive off the screen. It doesn't always have to be hit big. There she just hit a slow roller, kind of like a change up in baseball, and caught Shay off the net, dumped it into the net. I love changing speeds on drives.
Agree.
Untimely
Advantage,
faults
Cruz,
with
Niculescu.
Dardis and Shay have hurt them in this match so far. As we've said so many times, it's hard enough to win paddle points straight up and long rallies and such, but to give them away on one shot that hurts. There's that great cut overhead right up the center, gripping into the back screen. There's that two-handed stuff volley that Shay hits like a champ. That's a unique shot. It's one of a kind in the game of ladies paddle. I haven't seen anybody win a tit for tat up at the net if they're both sides are closing. She comes out on top so far every time. Usually with that two-handed stuff volley. Great overhead from Dardis. Good touch, good speed. They're working Gabby's backhand. And that's their strategy, Jerry. They are slow playing Gabby over there on the screens, making her lob. She likes to drive. And we can see why. She's got an amazing forehand. She's almost a full Western grip too. She's way over Rafa Nadal-like.
Advantage, Cruz, Niculescu.
There's that untimely fault again.
Great point opportunity.
Look at Liz's footwork. She's got a nice sway at the beginning, couple quick little steps. Trouble here. Great recovery from both sides. What a shot. Right on the line. Gabby pulls a rabbit out of the hat, and then Amy lets it bounce, and then she has to pull one out. It's a great point right here. I think this is a replay point. Great lob. Yeah. What a point.
Game, Cruz, Niculescu. The second set is tied, 2-all.
I think you heard our umpire in the chair, Dave Johnson, perched high above, hanging on the 12-foot screens. It's 2-all, second set.
Love.
And Nothing's worse than that is when your team is playing both back on the serve and you miss the return. They're giving you the clear shot into the open court. You dump it in the net. Cynthia showed her displeasure with her yelp. That's what Gabby's trying to do. She's trying to lob out of that deuce court and make Dardis play the overhead. I mean, she's got a better chance of getting a forehand. She's also got a greater chance of getting confusion on the side of Dardis and Shay. There it is. They handled it perfectly. Good communication. Dardis and Shay always calling every ball up at the net. I've equated it to playing tennis in a closet. If you don't communicate, somebody could get hurt out there. There's that great footwork from Gabby. She lobs and slides. Takes a shot with that forehand. She knows where she's going to hit that next forehand too. What a play. Great dig. There's the drop.
That's the routine play of Dardis and Shay.
And
that's a great shot. I'd love to capture that on replay. Where
15 all.
Amy Shay swings that volley cross court. So it's a combination of 3 shots. It's a slash overhead, followed by Dardis's drop shot, followed by Amy's swinging low volley backside. That'd be really great if we could grab that and show you that combination. And again, that's what I just feel like Gabby's got to get the spark going. She's got to get it.
30,
They're being
50.
lulled into Dardis and Shay's pace and style of play.
to your point, I think that could be only her second, possibly third blitz of the match.
And it's mainly a function of Dardis and Shay not giving them anything to do that with. And you run the risk of doing it at the wrong time. But Gabby's got to start hitting now.
I mean, the good drive is one thing.
It'll be a third set.
Sorry, was that?
It'll be a third set if they don't. It's all Dardis and Shay's pace and speed of play.
Well, the one thing that makes the drive twice as effective is the blitz behind it, either by the striker or the partner. Then you get into a good hard drive followed up by a blitz. It's
40,
very disconcerting.
30. Game, Cruz, Niculescu. They lead the second set, 3-2.
3-2, Niculescu and Cruz. Uline is the leading distributor of shipping, industrial, and packaging materials to businesses throughout North America. We ship over 2.5 million boxes every day, but we are so much more than a box company. More than 32,000 quality products are always in stock and ready to ship. Outstanding customer service means we're here for you when you need us, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Uline, the best selection, products, and people for an unforgettable customer experience. And I want to give a special shout out to the Uline family, tremendous supporters of platform tennis, racket sports alike. I had the pleasure of coaching all 3 children, Duke, Brian, and Freddie. They're all outstanding paddle players. They're all Americans playing in tennis, or Brian was. Freddie played at University of North Carolina, Duke at University of Minnesota. So thanks to the Ulines. Here we are. Two, 3. I just found it so interesting with the interview, Jerry. They talked about match is either going to be 1 hour or 3 hours, depending on which side Gabby plays. And I think that's well said.
That's from the Niculescu Cruz side. I don't think Dardis and Shay play 1 hour matches. I'm used to watching 3 hour matches. They enjoy their time on the court.
And there's that drop shot, and she didn't even hit it as well as she liked, but that's the thing. It's usually the beginning and the end, one way or the other. If you hit that drop, you could get beat on the next shot, or they overhit coming in.
Mm. 30.
Nice shot by Cynthia Dardis. She saw that Liz Cruz was slow coming in, and she just rolled it down at her feet.
And again, not hard, just off speed, a nothing forehand, but it changes up the vision a little bit. Timing.
30-15.
Boy, she has struggled on this side serving. There it is.
40-15.
First lucky leg court of the match.
Oh my God. 40-30.
Cynthia rushed that.
She's not hitting up on that serve under that deuce court. She's hitting down. Probably her 7th, 8th fault.
Give her that tip. Just shows the tactics here and then, the willingness of each team to stay with their plan.
Great chicken wing volley from Dardis.
Dardis, Shay. The second set is tied, 3-all.
Here we go.
Settle in, Rodney.
So good. Great point.
Love,
the touch.
15.
Even though it was a flat overhead that Cynthia hits, it's just the touch, that different change of pace.
I love the way in that point they got the edge early and they never let up. They kept Niculescu and Cruz scrambling. Look at this.
Love, 30.
I think to your point, Jerry, Dardis and Shay have gotten them into their rhythm. Now things are starting to look a little more optimistic for Dardis and Shay.
Love, 40.
Trying to break to go up 4-3, second set. Wow.
15-40.
A miss hit. Shank you very much. Almost hit
I haven't even made any bad calls yet.
Dave Johnson, the umpire. I think he took it, didn't he? He did. Confirmation, he got pegged up in the chair. Oh, what a volley from Gabby on a tremendous drive.
To the Fairfield Women's County League, Platform Tennis League, all 4 women here on the court are the teaching professionals in that league. How lucky are they? They all get to see their pros on the live stream, the APTA network, presented by eNet Live. The women's paddle in Connecticut is very strong.
30-40.
Lots of players playing, great clubs. I've got a wonderful base of pros, and I've got some nice shout outs from the players watching their pros play on live stream. So I've come a long way, Rodney, right?
Long way. Well, it's what an opportunity for them to watch their pros play. You've done so much, Jerry, to get this thing up to speed from where I remember it was 7-8 years ago, and it just keeps getting better. The production, the organization.
Well, it's been fun. It's fun to be involved in the game in another way, but you and I actually, you taught me the ropes. Did my first commentating match right here at this club.
Yes, we did.
On scaffolding, for crying out loud. Climbing a ladder, hanging on for dear life. I rescued Patty Hogan from sliding off.
In the cold and the rain.
Right, we just missed a big drive opportunity there that Gabby let rip.
Well, they crept back into this game. They were down break points. Now it's back to deuce. This has again been the problem with Dardis and Shay, is capitalizing on the big points. A great lob. There's.
Look how Liz Cruz just moved the chess pieces around there. She lobbed down the line, and she gets Cynthia to move up, Amy to move over behind Cynthia, and then she pushes across court. She can chip it or she can hit it. Once she gets that opportunity to make that play, she really takes advantage.
Well, they're trying to get Dardis to hit an overhead. When Dardis hits an overhead, they tend to get some drive opportunities. And they got to work it over her way, but you can see how Shay is the captain of the overheads. She's going to play 90% of them, and they have to locate that lob perfectly over Dardis's head to force her to hit. Because right now, it's just going to be this indefinitely. Look at Liz. Now, there it is. And does this result in a drive? Yep, there it is. Exactly what we're talking about. They'll get their forehand looks by making Dardis hit it, the overhead. There it is again. That one, great cover from Liz. Look how she came all the way over. Covered the double wire screenshot. Captain Amy on the overhead. And for those watching out there, look how Dardis just gets out of the way. She slides over, giving Amy a clear look into the open court. Amy, great volley. Again, a little sneaky backhand deuce from Liz, and bang.
Advantage, Dardis, Shay.
What a point. And you don't want to be the point ender in platform tennis. That's the goal. You just keep it going indefinitely. Liz caught the net. Break point, Jerry.
Deuce.
Now, we have not seen very much of Gabby poaching. So when Niculescu used to play with Andrakova, Andrakova had a huge, big serve down the tee. And that allowed Niculescu to come out and pick off volleys. She was always cutting to the middle. Now, Liz Cruz's serve is not as big as Martina Andrakova's, and we haven't seen that play. I mean, a lot of times we're seeing Niculescu stay back. So Gabby's lost that play right now to win points just by, I used to call it the drive-by volley.
Yes.
So it's again, when it's a different style, they're going to find other ways to win points.
Look at them build that wall at point blank range. A lot of teams would have bailed and headed for the hills. They stay tight, hold.
Advantage, Dardis, Shay.
Well, I go back to blitzing with Gabby. With the matches I've called in the past of hers, she blitzes a lot more than she has today.
It is also a function of Daz and Shay not giving her an opportunity. Now we are seeing. Maybe she's listening to me. I just started.
Game.
If that mic's down there.
Shay.
Does she hear me
Lead the
down there
second
on the
set,
court?
4
She's
games
got
to
Bluetooth
3. Cruz
wired in.
Niculescu took the first set, 6 games.
There it
to 3.
is. Dardis and Shay get ahead 4-3 in the second set. They lost the first set 6-3. Finals. PNC Steel City Open. Yes. Viking Athletics is the premier brand and the undisputed leader in platform tennis. Viking is platform tennis. The Viking Extra Duty platform ball has been the #1 selling ball in the industry for the last 20 years. It is the official ball of the APTA Nationals and President's Cup, and of the Grand Prix Tour. The official paddle of the APTA, engineered to provide superior feel and the perfect balance of power, control, spin, and durability. The Viking paddle is the official paddle of the APTA Nationals and President's Cup, and of the Grand Prix Tour. Thank you, Viking. Thank you, Uline. Thank you, Save a Tree, our lead national sponsors, helping make all this come true. All right, serving. 4-3. Can they hold? This is where they've struggled. They get a little edge, and they give it back on not being able to hold serve, but 15 love on a missed forehand. Mishit that one, Jerry. She didn't hit it cleanly. Little shank. Dardis and Shay just volley so well. Look at that. Got a little dicey for Amy. That lob that barely cleared from Liz, and she handled it brilliantly.
Oh, beautiful combination of overheads and a drop by Dardis and Shay.
Look at the athleticism of Gabby.
Yeah.
Made some incredible gets there off the screen, and then a drop.
Especially Amy Shay's overhead. She just doesn't give Niculescu Cruz a ball to attack.
Love.
Combination of shots, and she's tall.
Mm-hmm.
So she really has to set her paddle and wait a long time, which is another transition from tennis. She's, instead of reaching up and snapping, but she allows that ball to drop, and she bends her knees. And
that's the key, is to drop down with the legs and hit it at eye level. But she got a good nick there, and that nick is always better if it goes right up the side screen versus kicking out over towards the middle. Great drive, 30-15. Great lob. Again, she's got the complete game. Liz Cruz does. Sneaky little backhand drive, keeping Dardis and Shay honest. Amy just keeps trying to gun for that nick in there. That's the goal. See there, she missed the lob trying to get it over to Dardis' side. That's the strategy from the backcourt from Niculescu and Cruz. Easier said than done, but always easy up here in the chair. Look at the huddling. For those out there watching, left hand knows what the right hand's going to do. What a volley. Wow. Great communication.
That was up. That's game.
And again, Dardis made
Shay.
sure
They lead
Shay
the
doesn't
second
hit
set,
that over.
5
She
games to
screamed at the
3.
top of her lungs and passionately let it go, and she was correct.
Gabby Niculescu serving. There's Liz Cruz is staying back.
This is where she's. Look at this. Great play.
So, Rodney, we've got another special guest. Marina Ohlmiller is going to join us
Wow.
in the booth.
Thanks for having me.
How interesting. I just got a couple text messages from your husband.
Fabulous.
Skinny.
He is.
So Marina is a top-ranked women's player, and you are the director
at Briarwood Country Club in Deerfield, Illinois.
So Chicago is a hotbed of paddle, and Marina has been on tour for a long time and has probably watched as many Dardis Shay Houdini matches as I have. So we're witnessing it again.
Grizzled veteran here.
Get your thoughts on the match.
Well, so far I think it's a very interesting match, and definitely I see that the sun is a factor. I feel like throughout the tournament, a lot of the teams are playing in formations where there's at least one player back in their service, and taking the big returns out of the picture, and just like Gabby did there, occasionally surprising by coming in. But since the returns are so big, it feels like a lot of players can run them down in this warm weather. So they're really not giving up a whole lot by staying back.
15-30.
But it's interesting that, that Gabby and Liz, I think, played the opposite side in Patterson.
They did.
Correct? So I think it's a good idea to give this team a different look, and it just shows how diverse they can be.
30 all.
You've had some battles with Dardis and Shay over the years?
Oh, we have. We have. They'll keep you out there for weeks.
That's what they're trying to do here, and it seems to be working.
It's a good idea. I feel like Dardis and Shay are, especially, I think Amy Shay is doing a magnificent job keeping that sort of low reset ball down the middle. She has excellent ball control.
She surely does. She's hit that cutter all day, and look at those lobs off of that.
Well, we haven't seen that hardly at all.
People don't realize how hard it is to do what Amy just did, to take that heavy roller off the deck and hit a good lob off of that. It's 40-30. Cruz and Niculescu.
Because Cynthia Dardis and Amy Shay lob so deep that it really makes it harder for Gabby to win points with the roller, because she's outside the service box. She can still hit it, but it's when she's inside the service box that it's...
Absolutely, I agree, and I think we're seeing this from a lot of the high-level tennis players and the younger crowd, is that they can actually hit that roller from different depths, but they just hit it from further back with a little more clearance and a little bit more rotation, but still a nasty ball to try to play.
So, Marina, you're a teaching professional. You're teaching that shot?
We are.
Yeah.
I would say it's very popular in Chicago, and particularly against the women, since we don't see a ton of spin in the women's game. I feel like it's one of the sort of evolutionary things that are happening. I always feel like we're about 5 years behind the men, and a lot of the shots that the men have been bringing out are now starting to show up in the women's game.
Exactly, and look at Amy Shay's cutter overhead.
Absolutely.
I mean, I remember Scott Mansager bringing that roller to Chicago years ago. And
I agree.
I hadn't really seen it. And now
I agree.
You see a lot of it.
And I feel like, too, the ladies are beginning to play a lot of balls through. The baseline level of fitness has improved so much on the women's end, and baseline level of athlete, for that matter. So all of a sudden, the women's game resembles the men's game a little bit more.
Well
People
said.
are choosing not to stay in and make a volley against, a high-velocity ball. We're realizing that we can get out early and play it through. So I feel like we're seeing more formations. We're seeing a lot more variety in the women's game.
And some serving and staying back even here. Gabby's struggling with that lob. The question is going to be, if they lose this set, do either of you two think they'll switch?
Just having that option, I think, is awesome. And
set point.
Let me switch for the third set and go back to where they were last week.
Now look, that's Amy Shay to miss that shot is because of a change of the look of the court. It wasn't a big serve. She had all the court to hit into, but it was a different look, and you got to concentrate so hard.
I feel that a lot of times playing against a team that's two back, it's all your points of reference are gone, and that big return goes away, and I think it's much more difficult to calibrate what you're trying to hit because it's too soft. They can drive it back at you.
Set point again for Shay and Dardis. Great lob. Great dig, set ball. Tremendous hands there. Wow, they're pulling some rabbits out of the hat on this point.
Well,
the most important point.
Joke around that Amy Shay will always get the leg court on set point. Just always happens.
It's no joke.
Well, she hits that hard, flat laser beam. The margin is small, so yep.
Absolutely.
There it is.
Told
Game,
ya.
set. Dardis, Shay take the second set.
We're going the
6
distance,
games
gals.
to 3. Cruz, Niculescu took the first set. 6 games to 3.
We'll be right back in just a moment after these messages, right here on the APTA network.
I think it's 2 minutes.
You have to have a passion for taking care of the customer, and you have to do your job as if your last name was Uline.
Welcome back to the PNC Steel City Open Ladies Final. We are going the distance, ladies and gentlemen, with these split sets. We've got the number 2 seed, Cynthia Dardis, and Amy Shay playing 1 seed, Liz Cruz, Gabriella
Niculescu.
And they were the number 1 seed, number 1 ranked team in the nation, and they won the first set, lost the second. What do you think, Jerry?
It's classic Dardis and Shay. They don't panic. They just, hang in there, stick to their plan, execute their plan,
just got off the press, hot off the press. There may be an injury. We're going to be in a holding pattern here. We'll bring you a full update as soon as we get all the details.
From the player, one of the players in the finals? Yes. It's either Dardis or Shay, so hang on there. We'll try to find her. It's Amy Shay. We're not sure what's going on.
Huh.
She's down in the locker room putting something on her arm.
Well, in the old youth versus experienced matchups, one problem the experienced teams may have is getting a little owie late after a long match, and this is the finals, so they've played at least 3 or 4 matches to get to this point. Hope she's okay. We love to see a great spirited third set, that's for sure, Jerry.
New ball.
There's Niculescu, Cruz are back on the court, but as we were saying, I mean, this is I've seen this
Love in the third. Oh,
a million times. Dardis and Shay
Since there's
just
only one
stick
bathroom,
to the game
they were going
plan.
to use the restroom.
They don't panic,
kinda hard
and
to
they've almost like took the wind out of Niculescu and Cruz's game. And Cruz and Niculescu have to find it within to get that spark, but it's such a fine balance because you don't want to come out, force the play, and make a bunch of unforced errors.
Yeah, and I picked up on it at 5-2 in the first set. Dardis and Shay got it to 5-3, playing a little differently. Shay started taking most of the overheads, and they won that game. And since then, they have been the better team and playing this slower paddle brand of game, you know. So we talked about whether or not they might switch over, put Niculescu in the ad side where she usually plays.
Okay, good. There's Amy Shay's back on the court. It was just not an injury, just it's a tight right forearm, which happens, and she's rubbed it out, and we're ready to go.
Well, hopefully she doesn't start cramping or something like that. But again, it's a hot day. They've been playing a lot of paddle the last 2 days, and both teams have won by the score of 6-3. Cruz and Niculescu the first set, Dardis and Shay the second set.
We're about to start the
It is
third
love all
hour.
in the third set. Cruz Niculescu took the first set 6-3. Dardis Shay took the second set 6-3.
Glad Amy's able to play on. Both teams going over their marching orders, setting up a clear and defined game plan, which what makes this game so much fun. You can lock in on a specific game plan, execute it, and win. This is the side that Cynthia has struggled from a serving perspective. The sun has obviously been her reason. It's 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. We've been going for 2 hours. First point is set 3. And Jerry, it is official. This is exactly what I would have told them to do. They switched and put Gabby in the ad side where she plays predominantly and look for more offense and a little more action-packed, short, fast paddle. But Dardis and Shay might have just slowed them up enough. Who knows? We're going to see shortly. Record on the first point by Liz Cruz. Love 15. Jerry, do you recall the score from last week? at Patterson? Was it a 2 or 3 set match? That I did not see.
No, but I think maybe Ann Sheedy could pull it up for us.
Love, 30.
Our executive director.
A final score for last week in Patterson between these two teams. They squared off last week, and Cruz and Niculescu won, with Gabby playing the backhand side the whole match. Now today they came out with a complete flip. Liz took the backhand. They've split sets, and now they've gone back to what they did last week and what they've done historically. It was 6-4, 6-3. Ann Sheedy has given us the score last week, and again, a special shout out to Ann for all she does for the APTA and has done for years. She's in her home turf here. 7-minute commute to the tournament. Great get. That's a great nick overhead from Shay, right up the side screen, and Liz picked it clean. Not easy to do. It's love 30. Third point of the third set. I would think Shay and Dardis would not have wanted to see Gabby switch on over into the ad side. What a cover from Liz. Another nick overhead that
50,
hits perfectly,
30.
and again, the perfect nick overhead shoots up the side screen. The good nick overhead kicks off to the middle, usually gets returned.
Yeah, Amy Shay she slides that into the deuce side.
She's going for it all the time.
15, 40.
Well, this is how the first set started, with Cynthia Dardis serving on the west side, looking into the sun, and dug a quick hole.
Agree.
And faults.
Game, Cruz, Niculescu.
To give
They
up
lead the
the
third
first
set.
game.
1 game to love.
The men's tournament has started today, so following this women's match, we'll be starting to stream the men's, and we'll be on live all day, finishing up with the 2 men's quarterfinal matches, which are scheduled for 3 and 5. But I have a feeling we'll be pushed back a little bit. With the warm weather.
Yeah, sure. That's exactly one of the reasons why.
Love, 50.
There's that good drive from Dardis down low, and the hard thing in the warm weather is to absorb the pace on the first volley, keep it from sailing long. "15 love." Look how far Shay comes over to play that overhead. But that's what they want. They're trying to get Dardis to hit an overhead on the deuce side of the court. Almost always results in a drive opportunity. Just love the way Cynthia and Amy volley. It's a human wall up there. Look at Gabby getting that up the line lob going, trying to create some confusion to get that forehand. Why do you lob? So you can drive. Great recovery.
That's the shot. That is a fantastic shot. The overhead was just hit too hard by Amy into Gabby's back screen, and Cynthia Dardis didn't slide over, so the line was wide open.
Looked like a sky hook, the old Jimmy Connor sky hook. She got that paddle way up high and hit down on it. Beautifully executed. 15 all.
It's a transition return.
After that first return, Dardis hit a beautiful bomb forehand that Gabby couldn't handle. They're both playing back. There it is. That's what she's looking for. Bingo.
And that's the downside of letting that backcourt player take all those overheads, because you come all the way behind the partner, and whether they switch and go to the other side or not,
30-15.
it creates too much of a chase.
Well, I believe Dardis has to be the switcher there. Since Shay's hitting, she's got to quickly cover that other side, and Gabby's too good. Look at her sneak in. Look at this. Oh, I love this trench warfare, Jerry. It's good fun. There it is. Another one. That's 3 of those Shay's had in the last 2 games. 2 have been returned.
Gotta get those lobs up higher and deeper.
Ooh.
30
Good
all.
rip. 30 all.
All right, we've got Mark Fischel's going to give us an update on the men's matches, because they've started play this morning. Hi, Mark.
Morning, Jerry. Thank you very much. We have a terrific men's round, a 32 match going on between Alex Benchil and Sven Burris. They're up a set and a break on Alex Hume and Michael Montalbano. Max Lebever and Mika Doyer through to the round of 16, as are Amata Krzyzinski and Chris Gambino. Back to you, Jerry.
Great, thanks, Mark. Before you take off, I know you've been watching this match, and we've been commentating on the formation. Dardis and Shay started playing the first set, and they didn't make the usual switch, having Dardis on the right side and Amy Shay on the left. And then as the match has gone on, they've gone back to the traditional way. And then we kind of found out at the break of the sets that Amy Shay's arm was hurting, so I'm thinking that's why they weren't making her hit all the overheads in the first set.
Makes sense. She did a really good job in that second set, hitting a lot of hard, low overheads into Gabby Niculescu's corner, and I think that's why they switched sides to start the third, because they were really exploiting Gabby's wires ability over there.
And also Gabby's not getting the hit.
Well, that's a testimony to how good the overheads are from Dardis and Shay.
Right.
I should report that Flor Hannes was willing to bet anybody who was listening $50 that Cruz Niculescu would switch sides for the third set.
She actually did make that comment up here.
Watching Dardis and Shay play is just remarkable. They just get the absolute most out of what they have. And watching them compete and make adjustments, to me, it's what platform tennis is all about.
As Rodney has been pointing out, also their ability to stay with their plan.
Add point for Dardis and Shay.
That's that shot again. I'd love to see that on replay. That great drive down the line that Niculescu has.
But isn't it amazing how Cynthia Dardis has adjusted to that hard overhead, and she's really taken it away from the other team?
Yeah, she definitely is able to weather the storm on a lot of those, and then now they're back in the points. She had to pull a rabbit out of the hat a couple times. Now they're back to neutral, looking for a chance to create some offense. Wow. Got her in the shoulder.
It's a great height.
That's an example to me of Amy Shay, who's the best player in the women's game at finding that right hip, that right shoulder.
Mm-hmm. For sure. She is so good at that, Mark.
The third set is tied 1-all.
Hey, Mark, can you keep us updated with the men's matches? If anything comes through, if you hear everything that's going on? Okay, great. I'll text you. Thanks for dropping by.
My pleasure, Jerry. Good luck.
See you, Mark. dig. That's one of the first
15.
errors she's made in a while.
Liz
Amy
Cruz,
Shay.
yeah, picked that right hip, made her flip over and take her forehand volley. Very lively.
Love 15.
Agree. Love 30.
Love 30. I believe it's 1-all, third set.
Dardis and Shay giving the hand signals.
Love 40.
If Dardis and Shay come out short in this match, I'm gonna point to the serve. They've had an inordinate amount of faults.
$15.40.
So Dardis makes the hand signal. Shay acknowledges that she understands, so there's no confusion.
Such an advantage to know where your partner's going to serve it. Great
30,
nick
40.
overhead, another nick overhead. They just come in waves.
And when you start playing Australian, it's usually because you're under pressure from the return. You're trying to negate it. So these guys practice all those formations so that when they need them, they're comfortable with them. They're not just trying it for the first time of, you know, what should we do? You want to go left? I'll go right. And then the
Noper, the left hand knows what the right hand's going to do. Got to know. Just like a pitcher and a catcher's got to know what's coming. And then it's up to the server to hit the spot. Here we go again, back to a hard cutter up the middle.
It's that great lob down the line, having Amy go all the way over behind Cynthia.
Love the help there on the double wire. It's break point for Niculescu and Cruz. 1-all, third and final set for the PNC Steel City Open title. Good lob. Amy Shay is surgical like with these overheads. She is so good. She knows exactly what she's trying to set up. Hit her spots, fill the middle, go to the corners, fill the middle.
Oof, that was a little scary.
Very close.
A lot of body language kept that one in.
Great overheads, good digs on the back wires, making them bend the knees. Look how low she gets, Jerry, to play those screens. There it is.
Game, Cruz, Niculescu.
All right,
They
we
lead the
gonna
third set,
get a chance to
2
see
games
that
to
replay
1.
of the shot down the line.
Cruz, Niculescu took the first set, 6 games to 3. Dardis, Shay
I'll try to
took
bring
the
that
second
to
set,
you 'cause
6
it's
games to 3.
Spectacular shot. Here we go. Check this out. Combination. She got it off the neck and then found that opening.
Just a perfect location.
It's a backup combination. Here comes the roller. Cynthia's like got her eye on the ball.
She stays on it. And a great lob, actually,
Yep,
off of
she
that
got it.
compromised situation.
So that's covering your partner when the ball goes into the nick, and Gabby not only kept the point in play, but was able to rifle that ball down and found the opening. And that team has got to read and react to who's taking the ball and then shift. All right, Liz Cruz serving.
Love the slow motion replay. Wow.
15 love.
That was her weakest return of the match. Got to get refocused, dial in. 15 love, 2-1 third set.
That was a nice rip down the line by Amy Shay. So the pace is quicker from both teams right now. They're hitting their overheads with more speed.
Yes, it is, and it's to Floor's point. She said with Gabby and the ad side, the match will go quicker. Faster paddle, which does not favor Dardis and Shay. There's that great
30 love
volley from Gabby.
Dardis and Shay have to be careful that they don't keep that speed up on their overheads, because they're playing right into what Gabby likes.
I got to take the air out of the ball like that. Just be ultra patient.
Trouble.
40 love.
So Dardis was looking to come up and chase that nick. Niculescu hit the roller behind her. Very smart change there.
Cerebral. Boy, what a return. Yep, good talk.
Yes. Oh, yeah. 40, 15.
Chance to go up 3-1 here. Liz Cruz serving. Great volley, and what a coverage by Amy, helping her partner.
Great volley because she volleyed it back straight and deep. Went back to where she pulled it from. Wow. She didn't snap across court.
Wow.
40, 30.
Amy Shay.
That's her 747 move. She comes swooping at you, and she'll go right at you with that shot. It's the right place to go.
That's exactly what she did, Jerry. She came up and in with that forehand roller with some extra giddy up.
It's the flying Willenda.
Nice patience from Gabby. Look at that sky hook, bang.
This is the kind of play that Niculescu loves. A lot of movement, generating a pace, spin, finding the opening, getting the error. And Amy Shay saying, okay, let's go back to our plan. Let's not, let me tell you again. Let's go back
plan B.
to our plan.
Skip plan A, go to plan B now.
Execute the speed of play.
Oh boy,
love,
just more of the same. Boy, has she struggled on that deuce side, on the sunny side, Jerry.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
She's rushing too. Cynthia's got to take a moment here, and Amy's going to help her take a moment. And that's good partnership.
The best. Totally the best move right there.
But still up. Cynthia hit that serve before Amy was really ready.
40.
She's just like, get me out of here with this service game. I don't want to look into the sun anymore.
I mean, the antithesis of what Amy's doing is the partner who drops the paddle in disgust when their partner's starting to make errors.
You never see that from this team.
Never. Well, in general out here. Great sportsmanship.
Game, Cruz, Niculescu.
4-1.
They lead the third set, 4-1.
Save-A-Tree is proud to be an official sponsor of the APTA. Let Save-A-Tree focus on your landscape so you can focus on your game and enjoy every outdoor moment. Save-A-Tree arborists provide professional tree, shrub, and lawn care services throughout the Northeast, Mid-Atlantic, Chicagoland, and Twin City regions. Visit saveatree.com today to schedule your complimentary landscape assessment. Jerry, did I hear right? You use Save-A-Tree for your house?
As a matter of fact, I do. They have been fabulous at my home. And
wow.
the grass has never looked greener. You've been talking to Mark Fischel.
Just listening. Okay, it's put-up time now for Amy and Cynthia. They're down 4-1, third and final set.
Exactly where they like to be. They'll should play a long, steady game.
15, love.
And they can find a way to, to claw back in. But Gabby and Liz keep firing.
Well, and they've gone to their strong positions, too. I think it's definitely a little more potent with Gabby in the backhand, Liz in the forehand, but no lead is big enough in paddle tennis.
30, love.
Those out there watching might be wondering, why are they both back when they're serving? Aren't you supposed
30,
to serve
15.
and volley? Well, the return of server, as Hank Irvine always used to say, the advantage is to the return of server for that one instant. They get to put a good hammer down on the return. 15-30, both back. You can see Liz standing in the middle. She's going to, now look what happened, little delayed sneak attack. Back-to-back nicks from Dardis and Shay. Gets them to 30 all. Come back from a love 30 deficit. And that's why I like that occasionally to go on up to the net. They think you're going to stay back until they don't hit the drive as hard. So they have an easy volley. Amy has one of the best screen lobs out here. She gets it higher than most players. She comes from underneath it, lifts it, and a great drive off the screen. Break point.
30, 40.
It's a nice comeback after being down 30 love, Jerry. 4-1 love 30. They're now up a break point.
It's what they do.
That's what you've been saying. I'm going to be a believer here soon, maybe.
It's so impressive. The mental toughness that this team has.
Deuce.
Look at Gabby stuffing it right back at the striker before she can recover.
Yeah. When Gabby dominates, when she uses all her strength and power, it's hard to negate.
Look at that. Oh, that's going to be a little much.
Yeah.
Advantage, Cruz, Niculescu.
But what Gabby's doing now is sometimes she stays back, sometimes she's going in, but the one thing it does is the returner side never drives as big. So if she goes in, she has an easy volley. No, not that time. Great cover. Look at the
Nice touch.
savvy player and Amy Shay. Perfect touch.
They're not panicking. They look exactly the same as the first 4 games. The younger teams can really learn a lot from watching Dardis and Shay's composure, speed of play. Their emotional state is steady.
I agree.
That is for sure. I mean, they're the role model team to watch in terms of calmness.
Less than half a ball.
Never panic.
It's a huge part of the game. It's the last piece that comes in, but it is a huge part of the game.
Wow.
Niculescu got away with mid-court.
Coming up on 2.5 hours, Jerry.
Routine.
Maybe for you.
I have 3 bottles of water and snacks when when Dardis and Shay are playing. They will find a way.
Well, now they got to adjust to the new backcourt team with Gabby in the ad side. They got it figured out when she was in the deuce. Liz in the backhand. So now they got to adjust. They don't have much time left. How deep that volley is from Shay. Wonder if they'll switch back here. This is what Dardis and Shay love. They love Gabby in that forehand. Her lobs aren't as high.
Oh.
Beautiful. Cruz,
Textbook paddle.
Bravo.
The crowd is applauding. Just a terrific. She opens up the court and then fires that drive into the open hole.
Well, they think they're hitting that reset button, but she steps around quickly with superb footwork. Pulls the trigger.
Game point for 5-1 lead in the third set. Love that overhead by Amy. It's risky, but she finds those 2 boards on either side of the singles line. Slides it in for the nick.
She's up to probably about six winners on that, maybe more. Love her. Liz Cruz's backhand is so good to watch.
It has that block lob. She's showing Gabby that she can play that side too. Oh, and Gabby looked great lob, nice and deep.
There it is.
Not calling for the switch, they're just letting the point play out.
Advantage, Dardis, Shay.
This would be huge for Dardis Shay. Great drive. Look at the coverage. Wow.
Deuce.
Again, Niculescu moving over, gets the nick, makes something happen.
Little huddle session here. Gotta like that. Nice lob. I'd like to see Liz and Gabby get their lobs higher when the ball gets to the screen. Other than that, I think they have a bright future.
Promising juniors.
It's just amazing
that
what a difference that high lob makes. Wow, good hands. Oh, boy.
No, it's part of the game.
Cruz,
Yes, it
Niculescu.
is. It's also when things are going your way, they're going your way. Play to the momentum. Huge point here. Uh-oh, she's up at the net. This is going to do a traditional setup. There's a good line, a little higher. Nice one.
That is textbook Amy Shay. Keeping that backhand swinging low in the screen.
Gabby making some incredible gets off the backhand screen. Good chicken wing volley from Cynthia.
There's another
Cover.
nick and another
That's a
cover
great
by
point.
Liz
Great
Cruz.
point. This is a keeper point. We're going to replay it. Best point of the match.
Tremendous gets off of well-placed overheads, and there it is.
Niculescu.
Niculescu Cruz, fabulous point going up now.
5-1.
5-1. We're just going to bring in Mark Fisher real quick with a men's update.
Just a great match going on in the next court, Jerry. Montalbano and Hume won the second set against Burris and Banchila, so they're just about to start the third set. And on the guys' side, the rest of the seeds are all pretty much through. Araya Morneau, Karana Wagner, and as I mentioned earlier, LePavere and Ordoya, as well as Watt and Kaler. Scott Kaler running the tournament and also managing to play pretty well.
Okay, thanks, Mark. We've got Dardis and Shay exactly where they like to be, down 1-5 in the third set and serving. See if they can do another Houdini.
Well, Amy starts off with a perfect nick that squirted up the side screen, unreturnable. 15 love.
30 love. Love.
Haven't seen that shot out of Liz Cruz all day, that little pooch forehand. I don't know if she'll use it again.
Game, Dardis, Shay. Cruz, Niculescu lead the third set, 5-2.
Amy Shay holds. Down
so immediately,
2-5.
sorry, Rodney, go ahead.
Good.
No, immediately following this women's final, we're going to be bringing over the men's matches, and we're going to stay with the men's match, obviously, for the rest of the day through to the finishing with both quarterfinals, and then we'll be back tomorrow morning with the men's semi, followed by the final. So we've got a big full day, live streaming, no downtime here. The first Grand Prix, the APTA Grand Prix Series is kicking off this weekend.
Talk to me about the Grand Prix Series, Jerry, and how that all works.
Yeah, well, we've got 5 in the series, so it's a different point structure than the ranking. I'll fill you in after.
Thank you.
Liz Cruz is serving.
Serving for the match. There's the lob I'm talking about. That is a Denver mile-high lob.
Love 15.
Love 15. That's Dardis and Shay not going down without a fight.
Love 30.
Some players just have that ability to get better when they get backed into a corner, Jerry. And I think, to your point,
Agree. Just wide. 15-30.
Dardis and Shay are a great example of that.
They just love to compete.
And some teams just love to come back, break the heart of the opponent. Oh, I'm down 5-1. Okay, here we go. Now the game's on. I'm going to ruin your day.
That's it.
Uh-oh. If you watch Amy's footwork, she's got quick little shuffle steps, and she sets and then hits her cut overhead.
30 all.
Great lob. Gabby hit over Dardis' head, and then she followed up with the drive brilliantly. 30 all, 2 points away from victory. Little poach there. Haven't seen that.
40-30.
Match point.
Niculescu's
Match point.
finishing with her favorite shot, the roller.
It spins the opponents around. It did.
Nice rip by Amy Shay down the line. They're not going down without a fight.
Great waterfall up. Try to get Dardis to hit the lob. That's what's. But Captain Amy's going to play 90% of them. Unless it.
Oh.
I love Dardis's cleverness. She has fun with it.
There it is.
Game, set, match.
Game, set, match.
Cruz Niculescu.
Cruz Niculescu.
Win 6-3.
They continue their dominance.
6-2.
This is the third.
And are your PNC
third
Steel
victory.
City Grand Prix champions. Thank you guys. Great match.
Nice job. Dardis and Shay again, just a tremendous effort. You know, they're always in there fighting every single point. I mean, they're just fabulous to watch them compete, and willingness to change different things. I mean, I think we saw why they switched at net was to kind of help Amy with her arm, whatever's going on, which is smart.
Your question, because you were curious why that was going on.
Yep.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
I couldn't believe it.
Because I'm up it again. But
And I was shocked when Gabby was playing the forehand because I've never seen her do that coming out of the shoots.
Yeah.
And they did switch it back for the
There's
third,
a
and they won
ladder
decisively,
right there.
which obviously had a little bearing.
I can't see. It's all shadows.
So we're gonna. What's happening
It's
here?
literally right behind the golf
Oh
cart
yeah.
there.
Yep. Well, we're gonna. I'd love to see the match point again, and we're looking for the ladder to get the umpire
It's the most
out of the
dangerous
chair.
part of the tournament.
Yep.
I always have. I can't
David
watch
Johnson.
the guys.
Oh, here we got the replay.
Oh.
There we go. Gabby got this short ball get, and look at that round arm from Amy's, that overhead. That point of contact, the drive off the screen, the ball was between Gabby and the net, which is so important. A lot of people play the screenshot is in front of them, but their back is to the net. So they might decide to be tricky and drive it and not see where your opponent is. So when you got that ball between you and the net, you can at least have a sense of where the net player is, and if they're hanging over the net, you can lob it.
For sure.
So we're going to get the umpire down, and then we're going to have a interview with our winners.
They seem to be holding a big check down there, Jerry. Do you know what that might be?
I believe there is some prize money for this
Whoa.
tournament. Yeah, PNC Steel City Open. I think there is some prize money for the Scott Kaler's down the court. We might get him up here for an interview. So our next stop on the Grand Prix Tour is the Chicago Charity. So we'll be in Chicago, your hometown, in November. And then we go out to Long Island for the Dwayne Hayden Long Island Invitational. That's the first week in December. And then we're up to Boston, the Western Club. We're up there for... then we have one more in Philadelphia. So the tour, the whole idea of the Grand Prix Tour, we're moving it around to different areas, and we see, kind of energizes the paddle in the area when the Grand Prix Tour comes, because the top players come, and the ripple effect. This is its third year. The players are playing for points, so there is a trophy at the end of the season.
And a little bit of cash as well, it looks like.
This is up to each individual tournament, so it's
Gotcha.
not part of the Grand Prix criteria, but, kind of helps because these are, most of these players are teaching professionals. They're not earning a living playing tournaments, so it helps with the travel expenses and
For sure.
giving up a weekend of their teaching income, so it's nice.
Very much so. I mean, those who are teaching pros, they take their time off, they lose the income they would be making, and then they got to spend money to come. So I think we're getting ready for an encore interview with Mark Fischel imminently.
Yep, so Mark Fischel's going to interview our winners.
Awesome. They've got to be happy. Always feels good to win a tournament, doesn't it, Jerry? You've won a few in your day.
Here we go.
Here with the winners of the 2017 PNC Steel City Open, Gabby Niculescu and Liz Cruz. Liz, that was an absolute war. Tell me what the key to win was.
Oh my God. I mean, we just stay positive. We stick with our plan, and I guess communication for us, because it's still a new team. We're still like covering, we like to be aggressive, and sometimes I think the communication was the key. That we never, even though in the bad moments, we still we knew that we can do it, but it's not going to be easy, but.
So you guys switched sides in the third set. Gabby, was that your idea or Liz's?
Well, we both agreed on trying to do that. I was getting very tired, and I thought we had more firepower the other way around. So it was fun, and I started being a little bit myself towards the end. So thank you, Liz, for not yelling at me.
Not yelling at you again.
Again.
Oh my God, never.
She never yells at me. I'm the only one that yells. So thank you for being such a good partner. And oh my God, hooray to Amy and Cynthia. I thought they played the best I've seen them play in a while. I thought we played great, and they were right there with us. So I'm glad we pulled that out somehow.
Now, when are we going to see you guys again? Are you guys headed to Chicago, Liz?
We don't know yet. I mean, it's tough because all the tournament is Friday and Saturday, and the men's are Saturday and Sunday, so we have to lose a lot of work. But let's see. I mean, we want to, but we just have to figure it out.
Okay, well, congratulations, and it was great watching you guys play, and we look forward to seeing you in the courts down the road. Back to you guys in the booth.